Looks like everything is good. Welcome back to Upfront again. I'm your host, Alex, and today I'm with a lovely guest, of course, the Westminster Editor, Dehnal Tena himself.
Hello, everyone.
It's great to have you on the podcast. It seems like it's been kind of a while since I've been dreaming about having you on the podcast, mainly because you are the editor here at this Westminster campus, and understanding that there's a lot that goes into that, especially since this is your final semester. You've been here for such a long time. I kind of want to give the people a rundown on how being an editor works here, especially at a college paper, and what your future plans are. And then we can also kind of take a look back at some of the big events that we had here while you were still here on the paper. But obviously, since you've been an editor now for a little while here, how has that experience really felt for you in general?
It's felt all right. Very, very, very busy. I will say it's hard to facilitate communication. Sometimes it's hard to stay on top of things. For sure, it's hard to manage your own projects while having to kind of sort of manage everyone else's. And I guess that's my basic experience of being an editor. It's busy, but it is fun. It lets you experience being a leader.
Right. And is there a moment that you've had maybe this semester that kind of made you feel proud about being an editor?
I'm doing an archival project. So I'm archiving all of our old school newspapers from decades past all the way back to 1969. And I'm almost done with that project. And frankly, I'm really proud of that, proud of how the way it's turned out. I'm also proud of the newsletter that we've been putting up every couple of weeks. We've come up with ways to sort of, enhance the newsletter, I suppose. We have SJ shindigs, and we have quick little asides every now and then. Like Upfront Again was featured on the newsletter. This recent newsletter was just had the episode of CPR on it that was recorded at Front Range about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Which was the 29th of October.
Okay. And I mean, you've obviously seen the podcast, being done here for quite a long time. Is there an episode that comes into mind where you really thought it shined? I mean, maybe I would say try to think of an episode that's not where we had Dr. Colleen Simpson, because that was a great episode itself. Is there any others that you maybe remember that were pretty good?
I feel like I remember the poetry one or the Halloween contest one, something like that. We had somebody from the writing contest on. I don't know if that episode was ever published.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, that one was good. That one was really good.
We called it was the Butterfly Collector. I'm pretty sure was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we definitely had that. Okay, that's good to see. I mean, the podcast has always been kind of an up and down thing here. I know you've been able to notice that for sure. This semester itself has been kind of tough. Obviously, since we had thought that we had found out a way to record the podcast more efficiently, and then of course having the co-host technically step down, which itself has always been difficult. So, just kind of working back and forth, generally just working back and forth on how we can make this thing kind of thrive and be the podcast that it can be. And I think we finally have it, figured out. And it took a while, but, I think that's kind of the whole process of it is, it's like you got to fail to learn how it works properly. So,
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah, so I'd agree. It's been tough. So obviously, like we said, this is your final semester here at Front Range. You've been at the paper for how many years do you reckon? Probably 2.5.
3.
3? Yeah,
since October of 2022.
That's crazy. Yeah, so you've been here for a long time. You know the ins and outs of this place. We've seen a lot of people come and go. But generally, it's mainly been me and you, besides some of the past people we've had who have stayed here for quite a while.
Yeah.
For any of the new people that end up coming up here and wanting to help out for the paper, what would be some of the advice that you would give them?
I'd have to think about that one. I suppose my first piece of advice is just do what you're passionate about. Um, the quality of your writing will come through in a more passionate piece than you do in a piece you were assigned. You're like, I don't want to do this. So do what you're passionate about. Sometimes you, but also sometimes you expect to have to do work. Just to keep the newspaper running, the gears running, that sort of thing. Um, I suppose my second piece of advice is, um, don't be afraid to be in here. Is my thing. We're very accepting. We want as many people as we can possibly get. Frankly, um, you were mentioning how we've turned this into a third space, which our advisor Aaron Left's been touting for this whole semester, and
Exactly.
that's how we've been doing it. We have like a Nintendo Wii in here. We have
Yep.
lights. We have computers and nice keyboards and that sort of thing. And we have acoustic foam on the wall. We're trying to make it inviting to be in here.
Hmm.
And just as an aside, it's clearly working because SGA rearranged their whole office
Exactly.
yesterday.
They rearranged just because of us.
But yeah, basically, don't be afraid to be in here. We're very accepting, friendly. My third piece of advice: probably get your work study in, so that way you can be
Yeah.
paid for what you do here.
Hmm.
Not that volunteering is a bad thing at all, but I feel like it would help. I
Yeah.
don't mean to be so material, but
Hmm.
I feel like it would help.
No, I think it would. And one of the things I always try to tell people is that the reason why we had kind of redone the office a lot, because a lot of people always walk past by now, and especially most of the members in SGA, they walk past by and they tell me like, wow, like, you've done such a great job in changing the office. But it's because, I want this office to feel like it can be a place where you can do almost anything. Um, More or less, it's like recording. This could become its own recording studio. That's why I put the acoustic foam up here. And then, of course, we just got the microphones and we have more acoustic foam technically already laid out here. And, this is just a place where people can, and yeah, the computers too. I mean, we want people to be able to work on articles or whatever it is. But I wanted to make it feel like a more inviting office. And I do feel for, whoever comes in here after us, whoever is next up, they should definitely, understand that this is a place that we've created for anyone to be able to step into. So, sounds like good advice. You definitely want people to be ready. Ultimately, you definitely want this paper to still thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you ever had? And I'm trying to say this because like there was maybe moments I thought about it myself where we were obviously trying to table and do stuff like that. And it was tough for us to, find people that wanted to help us, be, a paper here. Was there ever a moment where you thought that it might just be you or just, nobody in the office?
Frankly, a lot. That was the way my first semester's editor went. Nobody was in the office like ever. That was before we turned it into the space that it is now. It was mostly just me sitting at the computer. You'd come in every once in a while. Aaron would come in every once in a while. That's kind of it. It was pretty much me and what me and Aaron could do. And Aaron technically is just an advisor. He doesn't do anything. Doesn't write stories. Doesn't do any of that. Um, So it's definitely felt that way before. I don't have to imagine it. I don't ever have to think about that because it's happened before. But I think that with our current team, I think that we're doing a good job of having people. We have, 4 consistent staff members at just this campus right now. Lamern has God knows how many, probably like 10 or something. I'm not positive.
And I think going back, obviously, to the first episode I had for this upfront again, where I was talking to SGA and I was talking to Connor Medberry, who's the president here, I asked him the same question. I wanted to get his knowledge on how many people he thought he wanted to have just at the Westminster campus. And he said that he wants to have at most, hundreds, if possible, people that want to do such a thing. help out the school in a way. Do you have a number in mind? Like if we could have a number, a number of, say, members here at the Westminster campus, how many would you want?
I would say probably 10 just to make it not overcrowded. 15 would be fine too, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. I think 10 would be probably the perfect number. I mean, just judging based off our office, I think it would be a bit tough to get 10 people, to fit in here.
Yeah,
But
I don't think that would ever be the intent, but with the way you guys are hanging out, I'd say 10 is the perfect number.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on from that, I want to, because we were kind of talking about third spaces a little bit. That is something that obviously, since I'm taking Aaron's class, it's been a really, intriguing class, and we've been talking a lot about third spaces. And more or less, I just want to know, because this is a third space. We've created that. We have the we in here. Why? And do you feel like the we kind of makes the office a whole? Like what's your take on the we here? Why do we have a Nintendo console in here from years back?
Well, we have, sorry. Well, we have nostalgia over that, and lots of connections with that. We play Wii Sports all the time. It's like the only game we play in here. But to sort of quote the Big Lebowski, the Wii really ties the room together. Uh, so um, that's how I feel about the Wii being in here. The keyboards are nice though. The sound bar we've got is nice, even though I never use it. It's always you or Isaac on the aux. um, Not that my music taste is particularly interesting. Um,
Well, I mean, you do listen to a lot of obscure stuff. I know Discogs is one of your kind of go-tos. You do catalog a lot of stuff in there. Maybe you want to talk about that. That's kind of
I don't want to brag too much, but I think like top 1,100 contributors on that site. I spent a lot of time on that website. Like on Wednesday, I listened to like 3 LPs
yeah,
in a day. So
that's crazy.
they're all Chinese language LPs. So
Yeah, well, if anyone or any viewer that's listening in and they don't know what Discogs is, it's basically a website. They have an app as well. It's a platform where you can look at vinyl records, cassettes, CDs. It's basically just an archival platform. It allows you to basically put stuff on a want list, or you can add stuff to your collection. I know I have, last time I checked, like over 200 records in my collection at this point. So it's basically just an app where you can kind of show and kind of keep a note of what you have in your collection. And the archival on that is insane. I'm just looking at a lot of the albums last night that I've recently collected. I put them in my Discogs, and there's a lot of different variants for a lot of different albums. It's kind of crazy how the whole music scene has really come together to, I don't know, kind of bring back vinyl, because vinyl was not necessarily a huge thing. We could say probably 15 years ago, where
I would say 15 years ago was a big thing.
yeah,
It was coming back.
it was slowly coming back. I know that CDs were obviously a big part of the CDs were a big part, I think, of like the 2000s in general. But just to bring vinyl back itself, I think, has been kind of a huge plus. So, and I know obviously like you're a big collector in cassettes. That's kind of your main thing, but
Yeah, CDs are too, though. The whole vinyl thing, it's a lot of upkeep. I don't feel like doing that, having to weigh the needle properly so that way it doesn't screw up the records. Feels like too much of a task for me to want to do for. Obviously, the needle would be a permanent adjustment, but it's just a lot of consideration to put into that. And with cassettes and CDs, I don't really have to change it that much. I just got to make sure the equalizer is off.
yeah.
If I want to like record something and put it on YouTube or something.
Mhm.
Discogs also lets you sell and buy music, except digital files. But that's an aside.
Mhm.
It's just like a massive database. Like every artist you know of today probably has a page on Discog. Like most likely has it. So that's what I do a lot in my free times. I listen to a lot of Chinese music, in particular, because it's so obscure to me. Yeah, that's a lot what I do on there.
Okay. Uh, Do you have any other hobbies that you do?
I play a lot of games, a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been playing Helldivers 2 quite a bit. I'm 5 levels away from being the max level in that game. It takes a long time to get to that. I've spent like close to 1,000 hours on that game in the past year or so. I played a lot of Zenless Zone Zero, probably for around 750 hours or so.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those gotcha games, which I'm not a fan of gotcha games, but
Mhm.
something about it
Yeah.
intrigued me. So
And you always seem really interested in kind of old games themselves. We're talking retro. I know you have quite the collection yourself. Maybe you want to dive into that. When did you start kind of getting into retro collecting?
honestly, I was probably like 8 years old when I got into that. I got a Sega Genesis for my birthday. Played the hell out of it that summer and subsequent summers because nobody was ever outside. So
Yeah.
I stayed inside, played Sonic, Street Fighter. I was not very good at Mortal Kombat, but I played. Well, I'm not good at fighting games anyway, but Mortal Kombat was one. I have a lot of fond memories of that system. I used to every birthday or so, I'd go to the retro game store, buy something there, and thinking back on it, I should have bought more because
Right.
everything's so expensive now.
Hmm.
Like there's this game for the Game Boy called Cat Trap. It's a puzzle sort of platformer. The cartridge alone goes for about $50, and that's just the cartridge. You don't get
That's
the manual. You
expensive.
don't get the box. You don't get any of that. There's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which was a game I always wanted as a kid. Uh, just as context, pretty big fan of Sonic. Um, Alex has seen me wear a Tails shirt like a lot. Anyway, that game on the GameCube, if I want a complete copy, is like $60. That's as much as a game cost, 7 years ago.
Wow.
um, the most expensive thing I've got in my collection was actually something I got for free. And
Jesus.
yeah, you ever heard of the TurboGrafx 16?
I think I have, yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a console by NEC, Japanese electronics manufacturer NEC, and Hudson Soft. They made the Bomberman games, the Adventure Island games.
Yeah.
They had that console was really big in Japan, but not very big here. And so I have the American version. One of the games I've got for that system runs for 400
Damn.
complete, and my
Wow.
copy is complete. Not looking great, but it's
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of the issue these days is like when people want to get into retro collecting, with the Game Boys, the Game Cubes, some of these games can really, start to rack up in prices. I know the consoles start to rack up in prices. I was actually watching a YouTuber just a couple weeks ago where he was at like a retro game convention, and obviously since he's got the money to kind of pay for these things, right? He kind of shows you like, okay, these are the different prices. This is what he gets. He's looking at these people. And, I tell you all the time, like, when I was a kid growing up, I was always into Nintendo. I ended up getting a DS, and then I had the DSi, and then I really wanted to get the 3DS, and I got the 3DS. But some of those 3DSs today, they can still rack up almost like $200-300 if you have a, special limited edition. And I was pretty lucky for Christmas. I got a 3DS, but it was the Super Smash Bros. Edition. Me and my brother both got one. He got the blue and I got the red. So it's just kind of fun to kind of look back on some of the retro stuff. And for sure, if I could collect it, if I had that kind of money, I would, but I don't. And I think that's what sometimes turns a lot of these people away is how much these kind of things go for itself. But I think if you slowly collect over time, same thing with records. I slowly collect over time, and the more expensive stuff, maybe in the future, if I ever wanted to kind of, splurge in that, I could. But yeah, pretty interesting itself. So moving away from you itself, and we can kind of connect ourselves back to FRCC. Was there ever kind of a moment here at FRCC that you kind of want to look back on through the years?
There's a lot, honestly. I mean, I've made friendships with my coworkers, pretty deep ones, like with you. I want to say I don't know that I have a specific moment. Oh, actually, yeah, I do have a specific moment. The day we had the News and Democracy dinner party last year, I think, what was that, October
Oh
26th
yeah,
or something?
yeah.
I was very proud of that. I wasn't even the guy who hosted it, and I was proud to see Jared Polis and all of
Hmm.
those senators and the county clerk up on the stage asking questions and answering questions, and not asking questions.
Right.
But um, we had all that food. We had a lot of people come. We had probably like, I don't know, 60, 70 people, I think. We live streamed the whole thing on YouTube. And probably not the best quality, frankly, but
I mean,
yeah.
even looking back at that live stream now, it's still pretty impressive, especially for the equipment that we had. And I knew you were going to bring it up too. I mean, this is probably the event that I think kind of shows what the paper is all about. I mean, I truly, I can't kind of think of anything else that really describes us. I mean, obviously, and I really wish we would have won like an award for that necessarily. We actually do. We've technically won, a couple of awards,
One.
one
One
here.
award.
I know when I went to the Lammer campus, I think they have two awards themselves that they have won over there. Um, but technically, obviously, we're all sharing, as one here. So, but
So we
for
won three.
yeah, so for us though, the one that we've won here is for the upfront live that we did, and that was with Dr. Colleen Simpson. And I think that's always going to be a second best for me. But
I thought that was for the live stream we did, the really botched one. Didn't we?
oh
'Cause it
yeah,
says
so
up front live.
yeah, well, I think it's up in the air. A lot of people think it was for the when we had Dr. Colleen Simpson, and then some people think it's for the live stream. I mean, the viewers are probably not going to know this or remember this, but we actually tried to do an upfront live, like a full upfront podcast live. There was a lot of issues that kind of happened with that. I think the big issue was that we didn't have the co-host that day. She, I think, had like an emergency and she couldn't make it, and I was like, okay, you know what, that's totally fair. And then it was, quite frankly, it was just me, and we were thinking we could have Seth, who used to work here at the time, who was the editor. We thought maybe possibly he could want to fill in, and then I told him, no, I'll just do it myself. And it didn't really turn out the way we were expecting it to. I think we were just too quick on it, to be honest.
Yeah, the audio was a huge issue that day. I remember it was not good.
Yeah, the
the other
audio.
we live streamed it to two other campuses, or I think, yeah, we at least live streamed it to the Lammer one,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, we live streamed it to the Lammer.
they were like,
and
we can't hear anything.
Yeah, they said they couldn't hear anything. We had music playing over the video.
Yeah.
It was a lot, and I think it kind of made us take a step back and think, okay, like, this is what we did right, and then this is what we did wrong. And there was a lot that we did wrong, but we were able to look at it and say, okay, we can do better. And then, like I said,
we want to improve on it. And that's how we came up with the News and Democracy dinner
Yeah,
party.
exactly.
We were like on our A game that day. We all were.
Oh, we were all exceptionally on our A game. Yeah.
I there were lots of fade-ins that day, like between you and my cameras. I don't even remember why we had to switch so many times, but we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty proud of that.
I think-
Very, very, very proud of that. I felt like I'm not a good photographer. I'm not a photographer at all, unlike you, and I felt like I did a good job. With
Yeah,
that
no, I
that
think
day.
I think that's the event we can all be proud of. I remember thinking to myself, like, it's such a good event when you have the school backing you up as well. I know that obviously when we did the upfront live, we didn't have like the marketing team come out or do anything like that, and it was kind of special when we had the marketing team come out for the News and Democracy event. And I think we took a lot more preparation into that, whereas for the upfront live, we just kind of did it very quick. It's like we set up very quick and we're trying to figure it out. The equipment we got wasn't necessarily worth it, and so it was kind of harsh. And I think the democracy that we did, the dinner party, was kind of the thing that really sets us as who we are. I just remember coming in the next week to work and people were like, oh my God, did you check LinkedIn? Like they posted about us saying like this was such a great event. And I saw
I
saw
never heard about that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. We should have gotten like Denver 7 or something over there, or CPR.
Yeah.
KRCC something.
Well, yeah, because especially since you have Jared Polis, I mean, that is kind of such a huge deal.
I mean, he only showed up for 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
that was like oh my God, it's Jared Polis.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, having just 10 minutes, for him himself, I think is a huge thing, especially coming down to this campus. And that was not the, first time he's ever been down to the Westminster campus. He had been down to the Westminster campus before, and I actually took photos when he originally did a conference here. And, some of the stuff that he was talking about in the conference, it's really eye-catching to be able to hear from his perspective. And then, of course, coming into, the democracy event, I think that was also a huge thing. And just for him to he kind of gave like the opening speech behind Connor Medbury. And I remember that was kind of the semester where I was thinking to myself, well, Connor Medbury looks like a really good president for SGA. I mean, he was very nervous that day, and I think we were all nervous, to be fair. But I think both us as the paper and SGA did a pretty good job.
Yeah, now that you say that, I do remember him being there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he did kind of do a speech himself.
Yeah, he like did a speech right before the panel kicked off. I was like, who is this guy?
Exactly. I think a lot of people were
now we're all like buddy
looking at it like, who is
with Connor now.
Yeah.
We're very close knit with SGA.
Oh, of course.
At least
yeah.
I am. I go in there.
Well, I think the whole paper is. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what we try to want to, keep ourselves as close as we can with SGA, because SGA knows a lot of the in and outs, and it's perfect for us to write about them. Whatever event or anything, any problem that's going on. SGA actually just hosted the Spooky Soiree, Halloween event, the dance here at the school. And for the viewers, maybe they don't know this, but technically, the last time that the Westminster campus had actually, held a dance was back in 2022.
Yeah, you've said that twice already.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2022. The last time they tried planning one was 2023. And that soiree was fantastic. That's something I would look back on fondly too, even if we didn't get even if the drag show pictures all sucked because it was so dark. It was so blurry.
It was so dark and blurry.
I was really disappointed that none of my pictures came out good for that. I was like, I know these.
There's a few that were kind of like, you could use. Yeah, they were okay.
But I
You could have them and use them, but yeah. No, I think the whole event as a whole, the event as a whole, kind of shows what SGA can do, but not only, it also shows that the paper can help in as well. We tried to do a little advertising for them. I had actually wrote up a little announcement about it just the week before, and based off of what, and if you've read our newsletter, our past newsletter, that, and especially this one that just came out, Connor Medbury talks about how he didn't really do much planning on advertising, but there was still a good amount of students who showed up and wanted to take part in the event.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and I wasn't expecting. Definitely wasn't expecting that many people.
Yeah.
Something else I suppose I can look back on fondly is the front polls. I feel like I've gotten a lot of experience that way. I've gotten the September poll, the poll about Charlie Kirk's death. That got a lot of responses in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I got 270-ish responses, almost 275, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
And our polls have consistently had over 100 responses from then on out, this semester. Putting them on D2L was a big thing, and it's nice to have other people's opinions be represented through us, and I suppose I'm just proud in general. I feel like I've learned a lot here about journalism, and frankly, that made me want to go from making movies, which I have no passion really to do anymore. I mean, I think about it a lot. Don't get me wrong, I just don't watch them anymore. But
well, because you originally, when you came here to FRCC, your major was film, right? You wanted to. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to do. I was going for an Associate of Arts that I could transfer over to like CU Boulder, and now I'm wanting to do journalism, wanting to do something writing related. Writing's like my calling, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went from that to now going to transfer to MSU during this fall next year. I'm not gonna go right away because I don't have money to pay for my classes
right
now, but yeah, so that's changed my perspective on things for sure.
Yeah.
Um, y- have we've touched on like how busy I've been this
Oh yeah.
semester.
Yeah. You've been very busy.
Yeah, it's gonna be that way till the very end, and I unfortunately, um, so I have to finish archiving stuff. I've got like 140 odd things to scan still. Some of it, or a lot of it, actually is rescans. So I have to go do that. I get the newsletter up every couple weeks, and that takes hours upon hours to do. I have to write like SGA shindigs. I have to, excuse me, I have to kind of go off the base format that Seth created forever ago. We're trying to like update the staff page. We're trying to do a million different things. I'm trying to get interviews with people who answered the polls and that we've been putting out and writing about that. And I've got like my classes.
Yeah.
So it's balls to the wall basically. I don't know if that's appropriate to say here, but that's how it feels anyway.
I get you. No, I definitely feel that. There's been a few semesters here where it's been kind of hectic for me as well, very busy. I think it's good that, for the paper, we always try to keep ourselves busy. I mean, we have a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of work that needs to be put out there. I think just like more recruitment is always going to be the number one key to be able to produce the work that we need to produce. So yeah, I guess and the other question I have is because you're technically going to be transferring over to Metro State, right? Is that your goal?
Yes, that's my goal.
Okay. And they do have a paper out there, as from what you've told me. So maybe, was there someone at the window?
Yes, there was someone at the window.
I figured. Yeah, people always walk by our office and they're looking at the window.
He didn't look like staff either. He looked like one of the invitees for this leadership conference today. That's another reason why I'm super busy, because I had to take pictures of that and get reports on
we
that.
had the leadership conference. Yeah,
people from all 13 community or Colorado community colleges to do that.
Yeah, but yeah. So it seems like it'll be pretty busy until the end of semester, and then when you leave, it seems like you'll be pretty busy, transferring over to your new, classes.
Yeah,
school.
I gotta get a full-time job.
Exactly.
That'll be fun. Because no both places wanted to hire me.
Well,
so yay.
That's how it is in the market these days. But other than that, that's practically the end of this episode. Not really much else that we have to touch up on. So yeah, I guess it was great to obviously have you here on the paper for quite some time.
I agree, and thank you. I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
What's in the past year? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best video game you've played, and why?
I
know it's a total aside.
I get it. For the past years, like what's the best, or maybe I have a game right now that's pretty good I could talk about.
Yeah.
I think for me the best game as of right now that I've been playing is Arc Raiders. Obviously we've been talking a lot about it in the office. If anyone ever gets a chance to play it, it's a very fun and addicting game. But generally the best I've played throughout the past years, I'm really into like the back rooms and those kind of, I don't know, the games that kind of showcase the back rooms. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the back rooms, but you would have to look it up. It's just
people totally haven't heard of it. They're totally not making a movie out of it.
Exactly, they're supposed to. So, yeah, there's been a few of the backroom games that I've been playing off of Steam that have been pretty good, but generally those have really been it for me. What about you? Is there a game that you would consider?
I'll be honest. I just wanted to toot my own horn and just keep talking. Deltarune, easy.
Okay.
Undertale. I played Undertale last year, and that was a fantastic game. I would easily put that on like my favorite games list. Not a guy who likes RPGs, but it's just so well written, and there's so much depth and dialogue to the dialogue and to the situations, and the game. It's good gameplay mechanics, but I think Deltarune, from the way it's come up so far, is just totally expanding on everything, and the gameplay mechanics are better. They're snappier. The music, top tier as always, as you can expect from Toby Fox. I don't know if you've ever played Undertale or Deltarune.
I've seen videos and clips of it.
I think you should try that game out at least once. I would. The first Undertale does not take much time at all. It takes maybe 10 hours
Yeah.
to complete a playthrough. And if you don't vibe with the game, then you don't vibe with the game. But I think it's very well written, very intelligently written, and not to be a total, furry here, but I like all the animal characters too.
Yeah.
They're fun. Rouse is my favorite.
Okay.
I feel like I'm kind of like him.
That's
in
fair. That's fair.
Some stance, but yeah, Deltarune would be game of the year for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know Arc Raiders would be your game of the year for you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else you want to add on?
No, I don't have anything. I think I
Okay.
probably should go cover this leadership conference.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning into this episode. We'll try to continue to release episodes. So just make sure to always look out on our YouTube and our Instagram, where we'll be kind of showing you guys, the episodes when they come out and stuff like that for the timings. But from here on out, it's just going to be me as the host. We are always looking for a co-host. We like I said, we had thought that we had one this semester, and things have happened. So it's okay. We'll just continue and kind of go from there. So anything else?
You can listen to Upfront again, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, right?
Not on Apple yet,
okay,
but
it's not just on Spotify.
just on Spotify.
Okay, you can listen to Upfront again on Spotify. You can listen to it on YouTube, and you can find it embedded in our newsletters whenever they release. We also, the front page is always looking for tips to stories. If you ever feel like there's a story that should be covered on campus, give us a tip, and we will have a Google form actually out soon for that. Just feel free to give us a tip. You can reach our email at frccfrontpage@gmail.com. No punctuation, no capitals. Or you can visit our office in the Student Organization Center. Our room is CO509. Again, it's CO509.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks.